and this is Discussion with Dena. While we have all been occupied and with our eyes wide shut on the politics that is taking place in America, there has been something that has slid right on by us without anyone taking a big notice to. And that is the fact that a judge recently reduced the charges against former cops in Louisville raid that killed Breonna Taylor.
A federal judge has dismissed felony charges against two former police officers accused of falsifying the search warrant in the deadly raid on Breonna Taylor's home. The DOJ had accused the two officers who were not present during the raid of putting false information into the warrant. But the judge found no direct connection between the warrant itself and the moment that police shot and killed the 26-year-old. The judge also ruled Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, is the legal cause of her death because he fired the first shot. Walker has said he thought that an intruder was entering their home. DOJ is reviewing the decision and considering next steps.
Senior Judge Charles Simpson III dismissed felony deprivation of rights under the color of law charges against former Detective Joshua James and former Sergeant Kyle Meany in an order last Thursday. Now, the original indictment stated the offense involved the use of a dangerous weapon and resulted in Taylor's death, which would have bumped up the potential penalty to life in prison. Simpson ruled that part of the indictment be stricken. Now, if convicted of that count, Meany and James face no more than a year in prison. We are seeing this constant. They're saying it is based on the fact, allegations, and the government's argument. The court finds that the warrantless entry was not the actual cause of Taylor's death. Simpson wrote in a 33-page order filed in U.S. District Court for the Western District of Kentucky. We are always playing with words. The bullets from these men killed Breonna Taylor, either way you slice it. But the judge instead put the onus on Keith Walker, who is Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, said he fired his gun first. Walker's attorney has said he shot once in an act of self-defense, believing the home was being broken into because police didn't announce themselves. Officers fired 32 shots in response, with several hitting Taylor, who comes to your door in the middle of the night and doesn't announce themselves and expect to be greeted with, "Hello, come on in." Now, the judge ordered, more than 4 years after Taylor was killed, comes on the heels of indictments of two officers charged in the murders of other black women, Sonia Massey in Illinois and Takia Young in Ohio. Law enforcement officers are said to have killed 857 people so far this year, and this is according to Mapping Police Violence, a database managed by Police Reform Research and Advocacy organization Campaign Zero. Now, this group found black people are nearly 3 times as likely to be killed by police than white people in the United States. I mean, this to me just shows the injustice and why we should have been fighting for our right to establish our own law enforcement, because this is just proves further it's an unjust system. Those bullets that killed this young lady came from the officers that entered her home. Probable consequences of what happened. What did happen? We play with words. We redesign what we see. We say, I know what you see with your eyes and hear with your ears, but that ain't really what happened. And this is how we get to this point. Attorneys for James and Meany argued Walker's decision to fire officers intervened in the natural course of events and should relieve them of criminal responsibility for Taylor's death. How disgusting is that? Simpson agreed. Walker's decision to shoot at officers, one former Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly was injured, was a superseding cause that became the legal case of her death, even if he didn't know the people who'd entered the apartment were police. Additionally, while prosecutors alleged the fatal shooting involved the use of a dangerous weapon and resulted in Taylor's death, the judge ruled officers were using their weapons to return fire against Walker, not to facilitate further or aid in conducting the search itself. So you returned 32 bullets. While prosecutors argued police had their guns drawn upon entry, the judge said the this was self-protection, not facilitating the unlawful search. This is what we see. And this is what we can expect from the Sonia Massey case. All of this has been kept very quiet while we talk about this political process. This is something that we're seeing consistently. It's not a coincidence that whenever it happens, they put on a look as if they're trying to issue or conduct something just. But later on, you have to wait, because later on, what actually their intent was all along comes out. And we're seeing this over and over again. So to blame her boyfriend, who didn't know who was entering their home, for her death. And none of the bullets he fired touched her. But all of the bullets that killed her came from the officers. This is American justice. We are going to have an honest conversation, and I know many don't like it, about separation. I think at this point that is the only key to what we consistently experience here. We need to have some honest conversations about separation. Those who don't want to, that's certainly up to you, but we need reparations that include the option of separation and forming our own state. That is something that we should discuss. It's an interesting discussion. So tell me what you think about this topic. Is separation even an option for us today? Join me next time for another discussion with Dena. Ta-ta!